Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect Escapes. Today's beverage is a very hearty and warming Bovril. So welcome back to Prison Architect Escapes. This is a series where we attempt to break out facilities not made by me. This is Prisoner Jones, prisoner number 28503466, and this is the Small Men's Supermax and Death Row facility. It's a combination of those words anyway. I'll put a link in the description, and as you might imagine from a title like that, it has Supermax, it has Death Row, it actually has protective custody as well, I believe, but the main sort of takeaway physically and sort of build-wise is it is very, very cramped. I wouldn't say to a point of any detriment, but it's certainly very, let's call it space efficient, shall we? So as we can see, we are being brought in from the main entranceway here. Lots of staff only. I'm seeing armed guards, seeing lots of patrols. It's patrolling up here as well on this guard. We've got visitation. We've got, is this a holding cell? Interesting. So we're being brought over to here. I'm seeing radiators, so there must be weather and temperature. There's boilers on there. There's door servos. There was actually some pressure plates as well. So this is a holding cell, and let's hope, yes, we are actually going to be escorted to somewhere else as well. Looks like we have lots of areas that are set to either staff only or visitor only or some sort of category. So yes, we have, let's say, lots of items in this one. I think it's let's say quite a small map. In fact, it might actually be a small map that's then being expanded to the right, because it's, as far as I can tell from the very brief look I had at it coming in, basically it's sort of the same from like one side to the other, so I don't know if it's actually cloned or whatever, but we'll see. So obviously we've got things like this appears to be solitary, but the middle area is weirdly that's like staff only or something, or access only. You've got a camera right in the middle. We've got all of these areas, like little sort of confined areas, like this bit here. This appears to be like some sort of toilet area, but that one is, like I say, staff only, because I think a staff member's just got in there, so I don't really know what we've got going on here. We've got a canteen. We've got a common room, we've got laundry, we've got, it looks to be different cells here. In fact, I reckon up the top, let's have a quick look at where we have been positioned, and that's probably what we need to sort of focus on when it comes to the escapes. And yes, okay, so we've been positioned in this cell here, and each cell, by the look of it, I do like the use of the colours for the Supermax. We have the standard toilet, bed, 3x2, and then a jail door. So that's what you need. Actually, it's not a jail door, that's the secure door with the sort of plate on the front, where basically you can see the food tray goes there, and you basically get fed. You've also got things like a shower and radiator, you've got jail doors, you've got a sink and everything else. So yeah, there's enough in here to sort of look around with. Let's go for a sleep here, and we'll see which is the best way of escaping. I'm immediately thinking tunnels, because we can tunnel from here, out there, and up top. That looks to be, yeah, I believe that is 2 perimeter walls, and almost certainly there will be a patrol, and also this guard here is patrolling, and it's a very, very short patrol with CCTV, so the chances are we are going to be detected going through there. On the left-hand side, we have some cells as well. It's just a shame that you can't tunnel from any cell, because otherwise I would probably tunnel from here on in. Oh, it looks like this patrol, actually, this is where we do have to pay a bit more attention than perhaps is, usual. We've got a patrol here. This armed guard is going up, and this guard is going to the left. So when we look in the sandbox mode, after we, try the attempt, I guess after we've made the attempt, like say, when we look at it, we'll see where the patrol is. I reckon it's something like this, like a sort of inverted L shape. Anyway, we're going to have a look around. We do have a laundry here, so there is a way to get some digging implements. If I go down the bottom, it's pretty much going to be the same. Yes. So the thing is that the main takeaway is I can go 1, 2, 3, 4 laundries. So finding ways to dig out is probably not going to be too much of a problem. So that's encouraging. I'm just going to, there's also another laundry here. So there's like 5 laundries that are very easily accessible from our position. There's also, interestingly, a gymnasium here. Yeah, it is actually, designated as a gym, but it's also not accessible by ourselves. So I'm not too sure what's going on there. So we can't get any digging implements from there. There's an infirmary there, but you can see, because of the efficiency of the design, and basically the corridors are quite cramped, like around here, if we were to go into, say, this office, oh, look at all the stuff we can find. Like, we can get lighters, and we can get pens, and we can go down here, and we get loads of things in here. So, yeah, you can get a pair of scissors. So, yeah, that's a digging implement, yeah, digging tool. But sadly, yep, you always have to go through that. In fact, look at that. We've actually triggered that metal detector. Even though I've got nothing on us, I've actually triggered that. Maybe there's a little bit of scissor left on our person. Anyway, let's have a quick look on the right. And, okay, so this is an area where we're not allowed into. I'm still going to run it because, quite frankly, I want to see how far we can get through the middle. Obviously, we don't have any reputation points or anything like that, so I'm just going to wait until the door opens, and I'm just going to have a quick look. And although, to be fair, none of these are actually opening. What's happening is the guards are coming down through here, and then through this one. They're not going through the centre for whatever reason. I don't know why, but let's have a quick look. And so that's been a bit of Prison Architect Escapes, and it appears that free fire is set to on. Okay, that is technically a fail. Total score of 1, I think that's the body count, and time taken is 16 hours and 4 minutes to fail it. Okay, we'll load that back up and we'll see if we have any better luck. So loading back in, Prisoner Petty here, and I'm just going to skip the intake, and we've been positioned in actually a slightly better place now, so that's actually okay. Right, what I'm going to do then, I'm going to crack on, and I'm not going to pick up any traits. I don't think that is necessary. However, I will go ahead and begin our tunneling attempt. Now, one of the things with this attempt is that actually what I'll do is I'll go here, and then I know that both of the bottom ones have been exhausted. However, as we have pointed out several times in this series, it's a bit of an ad hoc series now, because we sort of only really jump on when I find some designs. We've obviously done over 100 episodes now of the escape. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is, like, you know, we escape as and when we can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and tunnel out, because I think that's probably the best way of doing it. And quite frankly, as we've seen, trying to run out the front door, well, it was a failure. The main takeaway was that the guards are not too picky on you know, who they actually who they attack. So the free fire is believe on. So even if we had even if I had any level of toughness in reputations or anything like that, I don't think it would matter at all. Now, I have a feeling that we will be detected coming out of the tunnel. I think it is just pretty much inevitable with the cramped nature of the design as well as the frequency of the patrol. So we're just going to have to hope for luck. And yeah, there you go. So the guard was up there. So what I'll do is I'll go over to here. The advantage that we do have, though, is because it is so cramped, a lot of, when it comes to obviously the designs and such and how everything works, is that often what is an advantage is also a disadvantage. And there is obviously an advantage of having a very, very space efficient design like this. However, disadvantage is that everything is very, very close, so I can get escorted to my cell because it's currently sleep time. Okay, I guess that's going to happen. Now, I will go to sleep there. I'm not going to I was going to go and dig, because then stuff might respawn, but I didn't want to do that because I'm trying to limit my exposure from going in and out the tunnels. That's the plan. Yeah, I digress. So going back to what I was saying about the advantages and disadvantages, it's an advantage for us to have everything so close together, as in, you know, if we need digging implements, they're very, 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 very accessible. They're very, very close, aren't they? So yeah, I'm just waiting for the armed guard to come in here. I mean, they probably will lose line of sight eventually, like that, and I should be able to go in now. And I'm going to go up to max speed. You can see we were running pretty slowly here, but I don't have any level of reputation. So yeah, hopefully with these 2 ropes we will be able to get through the first layer of the perimeter wall, and then we've got another one to go through, although I feel like we're probably going to need 3 to 4 ropes to smash through this. I obviously have had a look around and seen if there's anything else. I don't think there's anything major that we can exploit in terms of going other ways for escape. Certainly walking out the front door is not going to happen, not unless we get a bit of luck, although a lot of these escapes do in fact rely on a bit of luck. And speaking of that, we are going to need a bit of luck now for a couple of reasons. Firstly, we've went across the external wall and the interior wall, which normally means excuse me, there's going to be a patrol. There's going to be a dog patrol. So that's a bit of luck there we're going to need. And secondly, when I come out of this tunnel, hopefully there's not a guard. And there is not. Actually, there is definitely not a guard. There's no guard at all. So that's an advantage for us there. There is another laundry on the right. We have seen that. And we will pick up the rope. And I'm going to put my mouse on this bit of rope here, because if I trigger this metal detector, I want to immediately drop it, like I say. Even though the rope is not metal, not metallic, it doesn't trigger the metal detector, there is always the chance of it being activated as a sort of false one. So there we go, we've got through. Right, so over back to here, and we've got another metal detector to go through, which we have passed successfully. That's an advantage. The two patrols there, you can see they've now grouped up, which means that hopefully once we lose line of sight, we can get back in, and then we will... I have a feeling we'll need one more rope, but we'll see how we get on, and we'll dig through here first. So, yeah. I didn't see any armed guards. Sorry, not armed guards. There's lots of armed guards. We know firsthand there's armed guards on this one. But I didn't see any snipers. I don't know if there is any. So, just this one perimeter wall to deal with. Like I say, I do think we'll end up needing one more rope, but we might look out. We might. And obviously we sort of looked out with the position we were in terms of we're only... Well, we're in the middle, aren't we, of the... Is there only three either side? I think there might be. Yeah, there we go. We ran out of rope. Okay. This is where... this is where I dread going through the tunnel, because we've pretty much done 99% of the work. Let's call it 95% of the work. And if we jump out now, and we get to take... Ooh! Okay, that was a plumber's estimate. A teeth dryer. Oh, I don't know. that was very, very risky, or ropey, as you might say. I'll see myself out. Yeah, we did manage to get through that. Okay, that's fine. Right, so this should do us for the getting out of the facility, unless we trigger this metal detector, which I'm going to wait until that guard comes through, because I definitely don't want to trigger that. There we go. And have them search us immediately. But we can go in here, we can get in, and that should be it. Like I say, I think it's only going to take a couple of hits to break through the foundations of the wall. Once that's done, we're out, and then we'll load it into the standard mode, and we'll see what the facility has to offer. There you go. It was literally one or two hits, I think that was. So that is Squad Petty. No victims, total score of 10, 19 hours and 41 minutes. Technically, this has been a bit of a fail, because obviously the first inmate, well, they left, but they left horizontally rather than, you know, getting out themselves. So let's load it into the standard mode, and we'll see what the design is like. So here we are loaded in, and we can see it is very, very space efficient, and we were positioned in, I believe, this cell here. Was it this one or that one first? Either way, there's only a total of 90 inmates. Of those, we have 6 protective custody, 80 supermax, and 4 death row. I haven't actually seen the death row yet. We'll have a look around later on. So these cells here, these cell blocks are, as far as I can tell, identical. They've just been mirrored from one side to the other, which I do approve of. I do like that. Similar thing down the bottom. In fact, pretty much, if you basically build these and these, you can mirror it that way. If you build all of this, you can then mirror it down to the bottom. So that's, you know, how it is. We've also got all of this, which you've got things like classroom and library. We've got the psychologist's office. We've got infirmary. We've got the gym, which, yeah, the gym is set to staff only, and I don't know why that is. That's an interesting one. The classroom is also set to staff only. It's not necessarily a problem, the one being staff only for the classroom, because the guards do have... yeah, they do have that. Oh, is this is the deployment being set? No, I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, so having that as staff only is not really a... It's not necessarily a strange thing, but it's I would say it's uncommon. We do have the really good visitation. I like the way this visitation is. I've done this several times, where basically they come in through here, in here, and then they sort of congregate around the middle, and then the prisoners around the outside. Or you can do it the other way around, but that's probably the most space efficient way, but it doesn't really matter either way. There you go. That's all good. And then you've got paroles. Let me just double check the deployment here. Yeah, we can see we've got custom security levels on these ones. So these are... Supermax and Death Row. So we will have, if we go over to our programs, we will have Death Row Appeal. Yeah, it is actually set there. On the road, we have storage, garbage, exports, deliveries, and another storage there. We've got steel footbridges across several areas, actually, across the walls, which are perimeter walls here. I do like the lights there, these wall lights. I should really use them more often myself because they do look quite good. Obviously, there's a huge amount of work gone into this. You can tell because of things like just the addition of like the street lamps and the bushes and like just it's a very neat facility. It's a very neat facility, which yeah is all good to see. And from here, it's not mirrored. I don't think you've got in here. What's this? More staff areas. Yeah, you've got things like all of your offices. If we go down the bottom. This is all your security area, so things like yeah, your kennel, double kennel, actually double armory, security in the middle. I do like these brick walls and these door timers as well. So all these door timers, if we double check the wiring, we can see are connected to pressure plates, I believe, that will be on pressure plates and such, and they're connected to that. Yeah, so double check the wiring. Yeah, there's these over here. So there's been a lot. Oh, in fact, I said about how neat this thing is. The creator of this facility has actually used by the look of it, the wiring. They've used the tidy wires thing. Basically, you can activate tidy wires, and you can move the wires along and have them in straight lines. Or there might actually be a mod, but I'm not too sure. But you can certainly tie the wires in the game. I don't often do that, but there you are. Over here, it's basically a mirror of this. We've got up top here, which is yeah, again, mirror there. We do have something a bit different, which is protective custody on the right. So I'm guessing all of this will just be protective custody, and this little bit will be staff room, maybe. No, it's all protective custody, and then the rest is custom, which is protective custody in Supermax. So they can go through the middle. Oh, and then so all of these are mixed. Okay, fair enough, and they can go to visitation as well. All right, fair enough. Yeah. So the protective custody inmates do interact with the other inmates. It's just they're normally in here. I'm guessing their regime will be a bit different. No, their regime is identical. Okay. Over to the very left then, and there is the execution room. I said I didn't find the execution, but there it is there. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cells, and we actually have no death row inmates. You've got cleaning cupboard in there. You've got all this, like I say, the death row cells, canteen, then the execution. Okay. Well, like I say, that's been a bit of prison architect escapes. Half a sort of serious escape attempt, as well as a sort of show and sell. And yeah, like I say, it's a very space efficient, neat facility, and it's got a fair amount of detail in. I do like the use of some of the different wall sections. So your red there, the sort of death row sec there. Yeah. And it just seems to be, like I said, nice and neat. You've got lots of windows in here. Weather and temperature is on. What else have we got to really discuss? Needs are, yeah, they're not too bad. There's a couple of criticals there, but I've just loaded up, so couple to do with that. Yeah. We have prisoners, Supermax 83 and maximum is 80. So, interesting. I'm also noticing there's a lot of CCTV that is not active. Build more CCTV monitors. Is that because of the wiring? Let me have a double check on that one. Yeah, they're not actually wired up. Okay, that could be mods, because I did load it and it said there was a couple of inactive mods, so it could be that one. Most likely that. So we're not gonna, a lot of the mods do change the amount of CCTV connections to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, because that's the amount of panels on here. Some go to 16. There's lots of mods for that, but like I say, that's not the whole purpose of this series. Is not for sort of any sort of massive level of critique or anything like that. It's just to check out people's designs. It is freely available on the Steam Workshop, so it's all fair game. But yeah, it's been interesting checking the design out, and nice to escape from it. Like I say, it's an sort of inspiration to see how sort of neat this thing is. In terms of security, I think it is fairly secure. I'm gonna assume there is a dog patrol up here, and we just got lucky. There is a dog patrol, but oh, so the dogs are on there. So by the time the dogs go all the way up and all the way around to here, they could be tired. So either they can miss it, or they might get recalled back to back to the kennels, so they might not even been over here. Might have been best to have just a separate bit of dog patrol from there and there, and just have this little section here, knowing that, you know, if the inmates are going to dig, they're going to dig that way. But yeah, other than that, yeah, fairly secure. I mean, we've seen firsthand trying to get through the central section. It didn't exactly work, did it? Either way, that's been a bit of Prison Architect Escapes. Links in the description for the save if you want to check it out yourself. All credit where credit is due, as always. And yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.